And we've started. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Yeah, welcome everyone in chat. I can already see a few people typing comments and questions. It's awesome to have everyone here. My name is Isaac. I'm the event officer from the AIE Canberra and online campuses, and I'm joined here today with Tom Tran from AIE Sydney. How's it going, Tom?
Sup. How are we today?
Good, 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 good. Getting there. Super keen for today. And then our guest of honor, Angie Land, a VFX alumni from last year. How's it going, Angie?
Pretty well, man. How's it going?
Good, 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 good. Well, with all that being said, you guys don't want to listen to me. You guys want to listen to these two. So I'm going to pass it over to Tom and Angie. So take it away, guys.
Awesome. So, hey guys, welcome to Classroom Careers. My name's Tom. I'll be your host. And today I am joined by Andrew Land, the multi-talented track superstar turned visual effects artist. Hey Andrew, how are you today?
Very good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Anything new lately?
Just send myself a lot of side projects and doing some freelance stuff.
Oh yeah? Awesome
Yeah.
sauce, man. So why don't you go tell the audience a little about yourself, man?
Right.
Like your background.
Where to start?
Yeah.
We go all the way back. Okay. So first of all, I was actually an athlete, track athlete, and tried my hardest at that. I trained a lot on that, and I think about the future of my career. I was like, I really want to be an athlete. And then I
Mm,
thought I might as well give it a stab at a career in visual effects because I've always loved movies. I've loved movies since I was a
mm,
kid, since I can ever remember. So then
mm.
this is around when I was 16 years old. Studied a lot, did well in high school with my multimedia. I got ranked like 12th in New South Wales or something like that. And then I came to AIE, tried to discover
Mm.
the world of 3D, and I managed to find Houdini, which is a simulation 3D software. I love that.
Mm.
And since then, I've now worked at Animal Logic for beginning of the year, and now I'm currently doing
Yeah.
freelance, as I said.
No, that's awesome. I love how like you went from something that's completely like what I would consider like polar opposites, like an absolute athlete to something that's more like like I would never think an athlete would give up becoming an athlete to become a visual effects artist. So what was actually going through your mind when it came down to like making that decision and making that jump from like because I understand that you were thinking about your career, but what really pushed you into going, oh, maybe being an athlete wasn't the play? And why did you pivot over to visual effects? I understand you like film, but why specifically visual effects in that area?
That's a great question. Or why specifically visual effects? Okay. Um,
Yes.
I've yes, I've been an athlete before. I was first an athlete, but I was always
Mm.
good at drawing. I love drawing environments.
Ah.
Um, I did painting as one of my major projects in year 12. I got in a couple of art
Mm.
galleries for that. Um, and my grandmother is an artist. There's a painting that she did there, which is really cool. I
That's
doubt you can see it
hectic.
in the quality of the stream, but yeah, I, 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 I guess not to brag or anything. I sort of always had that artistic thought process in my head. And I always
Yeah.
loved trying to create cool aesthetic things. And I thought visual
Mm.
effects was a really good way to do that.
Oh no, that's actually really interesting because it really that's hectic. I never would have thought that so you're always like very artistic in terms of like a very creative thinker when it comes down to this, right?
So,
And this kind of just like ended up happening, and you kind of ended up visual effects just happened to be another tool that you kind of like use to like express yourself. I'm assuming so, right?
yeah. So I had that full process, but what really made me decide to do that was my brother.
Mm.
Um, he did
Okay.
he did he's right now he's a motion designer at the moment. He's worked at 9 News as
Mm-hmm.
a motion designer at a broadcast station. He's done
Mm.
some freelance work for some person who used to teach at ALA called Chris Ebling.
Mm.
Um, yeah, in his multimedia project as well, he did really well. He did like a
Mm.
infographic documentary cinematic thing on a I don't know
Yeah.
whether you've heard of him. He's like a motivational speaker called Simon Sinek. Um,
Yes, I've
pretty
heard of
big
him.
guy.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Well, his video was shared to Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek saw it, and his video sort of went viral. It got to like 50 to 100K views. And he
Holy
won some
shit.
awards for it. So yeah, I thought
No,
I
that's
might
hella
as well
good.
get that competitive. I might as well get that competitive energy into it, and be like, I'm gonna beat my brother. I'm gonna do this as well. So yeah,
Bro, yeah, and brothers, if you ain't like competing against each other 24/7, bro,
exactly.
dead ass.
What's the
Bro,
point of being brothers if you don't compete? So
bro, like your main goal isn't to be the best, but it's just to beat him, bro. Just be better than him. That's all that matters, right?
oh yeah, of course, of course. That's
100%.
the only professional thing to do. So.
No, I love this energy. So now that's so in terms of that.
Because I saw AIE and SE, I was deciding between the two, and I thought, why study the same thing exactly that he's got? I might as well try doing something different. Otherwise, like
Mm,
if I'm thinking if we want to work together at some point, we might as well try and develop
mm,
different skills so that we're both rather than just
mm,
being two copy and pasted individuals. So I thought
mm,
I saw AIE. It had the most like accurate to real life pipeline learning strategy and process. I
mm.
thought that was probably the best pick, so I went for
Does best with you? No. So no, that's actually pretty interesting because I know a quote. It's called. I'm pretty sure you've heard this before. It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. And the idea that I think you're coming at, it's kind of like you don't, and you just like your way of kind of like standing out from your brother, right? You want to be someone a different version, not just someone under him, but you want to be someone complementing him rather than that. Does that make sense?
it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
like in the future, if you guys
I
were
don't
to
want to
work
be his
together,
shadow, so
exactly. Now I think that's a big thing with
yeah.
brothers though, because it's like, are you the younger brother? I'm assuming so. Yeah,
I
you
am
are the younger
indeed the
brother,
younger
right?
brother. Yes.
You're a brother,
Were
exactly. So
I
you're scared of
still
being in
am?
shadows.
Yes.
You were. Now you're older than him now.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, you can tell this is gonna end up. But no, I find that no, because that's actually like really cool. Because no, because it's you've always been surrounded by very creative individuals. Would you say that they had a really big impact? Because 100% has had an impact, but would you say that they were the main motivating features in terms of like you pursuing a creative like career because of your influences around
Oh,
you, or was it like 100%? Eh?
abs absolutely, yeah. Um, yeah. I have no comment for that. Yes. If I wasn't exposed to I don't know, grandmother painting, she often given me
Mm,
some graciously me begging, give me some art supplies to make stuff, and then
mm,
my brother sort of inspiring me to try and get on to what his level that he got to or he is at.
mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I might as well. It was either that or boring construction or some sort of remedial. My dad's a construction worker. My mom works
Mm,
at university, so he's a lecturer at
yep.
UNSW as like a business person. To me,
Mm,
neither of them sound exciting whatsoever.
mm.
If I get to make something cool as a job, I might as well go for it. So
Oh, that's 100%. So in saying that though, because like you said that you went from, so you're always kind of like gifted in terms of like not really gifted. No, you're always very talented in terms of like the creative sides of things. So when you went to AIE, did you find any like challenges or hurdles that you had to go through in terms of like into like progressing through the course? Did you find anything that was like was it anything that were challenging, or what did you really enjoy, and like what kind of actually, what was it kind of like the pipeline or the pathway you had at AIE? Was it very smooth or was it a little bumpy here and there? Does that make
right.
sense?
So yeah, that makes sense. So actually, when I first thought about getting in this industry, I
Mm,
basically thought the same way as any other junior wanted to, and I'd be like,
mm.
"Oh, I want to be concept artist." Like, yes, sweet. This is what I want to do. And then when I
You know
started the
what?
course, I realized there's so many more things. There's so many roles. It's so vast that you could do.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
like I like first I wanted to try being a concept artist. Then
Mm,
throughout, if you do come to AIE go for your first year, you'll do like a box assignment and then like an environment assignment. Once I did those, I thought, yeah, I want to try and make environments. Then next was character. Like each assignment that did, I ended up just like, wow, I want to do that in the future.
Yeah.
I want to do that. But then I managed to find the software Houdini, which is a simulation tool. Can be
Yeah.
quite technical. But like I just found there's so much you can do in that software, and I found you can make so many cool things that could
Yeah.
it's like simulations is like explosion, any magic things you see in movies. That's what
Yeah.
Houdini simulation effects artists do. I thought,
Mm.
damn, that's really cool. I want to do that. And that's sort of then I preemptively downloaded Houdini, started learning it before we even started it in the course.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I just loved every bit. Yeah, so it was about midway through the first year, I discovered Houdini. I downloaded it. At first, I had no clue what was going on. There's so much jargon around the software. I was just following
Yeah.
tutorials mindlessly, and then eventually it clicked, like you do with learning any other software. And then I just loved it, kept making.
Wow. No, because that is some insane work ethic. Because I know a lot of people that would like they wouldn't want to go through that much stress of learning a program from scratch, and like
Mm.
that most people would probably quit after like the first few times where they go, "Wow, this is freaking hard, so I'm not gonna do this." So in terms of this work ethic, what was going through your head when you were like going through like trying out and learning this program? And what would you like? Would you have any tips for like anyone that were to pick up Houdini or is currently using Houdini and they want to like improve their skills in that program? What would you say to them?
Well, first, with any software, just follow a tutorial, just see where it goes. Um, even like even just a Blender, there's so many Blender tutorials you can just find online. You just follow it. Learning a basic software. First of all, I think for if you want to learn Houdini specifically, you need to know the fundamentals 3D first. My first 3D software is Maya, and AIE's course sort of catered to Maya a lot in year one. So I learned a lot of the fundamentals and how things work, and they teach you a lot about pipelining and all this. It within the first, even just within the first 3-4 months. But after that, yeah, it's gives you a good building block to learning Houdini for sure. I think if especially if you're new to using 3D, Houdini will be very I don't know how to describe it. It's quite it can be quite daunting at first. As you said, people can give up on trying to learn it at
Yeah.
first just because there's like you pick 3D because it's a visual, right? In Houdini, there's like a dedicated spreadsheet that you should usually have open. There's all these numbers and data that you got to move around and all this.
Yeah.
It might look daunting at first, but it will click over time as you keep trying and trying and trying. As with anything, like a baby learning to walk, babies walk constantly and they fall over. You know what I mean? Eventually they get it. It's literally the same with anything. So, like that's my advice, at least for learning Houdini or even just any software. So,
Anything in general. It's like, yeah, no, because you
yeah.
have to crawl before you can walk, right? So and you got to fall down because I think that's inevitable. And I think a lot of people are just afraid of doing that, you know. So like, I love
Yeah,
that you're very resilient. I think that's what I'm getting from you. You're a very resilient person, and I think this is kind of like where that track star element, where you're just training all the time, and like you will like be in moments where holy crap, this sucks, but you do it anyway, you know. And
Yep.
would you say that kind of experience kind of like transferred over to your creative your more creative pursuits?
Oh yeah, for sure. Uh, Biggest takeaway I got from being a sprinter, 400-meter sprinter, is discipline. Discipline's everything.
Discipline.
I mean, you can have motivation to do something, but then that motivation as well. It's having the willpower to do something when you really don't want to do it.
100%.
Gets you to really
No,
excel.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Bro, so I'm looking at some of your work on the side here, bro. Oh man, you got some pretty cool stuff there, bro. What's the bubbles one? But how'd you do the bubbles? The bubbles one was really cool. How'd you do that one? Was that on Houdini as well?
Yep. Houdini. So well, basically all of this stuff you see in my show reel, it's all Houdini.
Yep.
The bubbles one, you first, unfortunately, at the beginning of last year, raining constantly, so you couldn't really go out to film your own footage properly or well.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so AIE gives you basically the background that's filmed, something called a plate. You pick
Mm.
a bunch of plates. I
Yep.
picked that plate. Did something called 3D tracking, was
Mm.
basically you pick a whole bunch of points within the plate and you track it
Mm.
based on the contrast between the pixels. That gives you a
Yep.
general like layout and approximation of where everything is.
Okay.
So that from
Yeah.
there you create the environment and then
Mm.
etc. And then you make a simulation, pop it on top, and then
Mm.
composite it all together, which is a compositing
Just
software.
like magic.
Yep.
Just like magic, bro. Holy god. Nah, no, so it's crazy how much you got, and like I can tell that your hard work paid off. Why? Because one of your first jobs was working at Animal Logic. Why didn't you tell us a bit more about that? Your time there.
I learned so much, and I worked with so many amazing people at Animal Logic. Essentially, my goal this whole time when I thought I want to get in this career was to get Animal Logic, to work at Animal Logic as my first job. Um,
Mm.
and I got it. When I got in, I learned so much. I met so many new people. My
Mm.
role at Animal Logic, it was well, in the industry. You got basically the artists, which does shop-based work, and then you got like the
Mm.
technical pipelines side, which is usually in this case technical directors. Um, Basically, my role was on the cliff. I was between the
On the.
technical and shop-based roles. Um, my roles
Mm.
was like a debugger, which was to help artists specifically to get shots out. Um,
Yeah.
Basically, Animal Logic's pipeline for the department I was in. It's quite vast and complicated, overly complicated, and there was a lot of specific things you need to get something to work. Um, Basically,
Mm.
my job was to make sure that happens. But yeah, at Animal Logic, I met so many people international from all over the place: India, uh, England, America, Mexico. There's one like
Mm.
somewhere in the Middle East as well, like Lebanese or
Hmm.
something like that. Yeah, I met so many great people. It was a great experience. I learned so much as well.
Nah, that's awesome. So, what projects did you work on while you were at actually Animal Logic?
It has been announced, so I can say it. It's called Leo the Lizard. Um,
Leo the Lizard.
yeah. Um, it's got Adam Sandler in it. That's all I can say. I'm under NDA, unfortunately, so I can't say.
Yeah, and then the unfortunate man.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
so in saying that, like it's so you said that you set a goal for Animal Logic, but back around what age were you when you set that goal? Around how old were you when you set that goal? 14, 16,
16 years old. Yeah.
16? 16 years old.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy how like when you set goals, you kind of just end up achieving them. So like, would you say that all your how did you align all your actions towards a goal? You know what I mean? Like, what were the actions that you took like deliberately to get that goal? Because I think
Well, when
a
I
lot of people, because
first,
a lot of people set goals. Yeah, like a lot of people set goals, but not a lot of people achieve them. So, what would you say like made you different, where you actually achieved your goals?
so first, I set my long-term goal is to work at Animal
Mm,
Logic. That was my long-term goal.
yeah.
Then I
Mm,
thought, okay, that's not going to happen overnight. I needed to achieve something first. So
mm,
at the time, I was 16, 17 years old. My first goal was to do really well in industrial tech multimedia. So
mm-hmm,
I ended up learning a lot of After Effects. I'm a bit of an After Effects guru as well. Um, I
mm-hmm,
did After Effects animations in year 11, and they
mm-hmm,
got quite well received by the people in the class. So I
mm,
made the effort to make like a 6-minute short animation in After Effects. And basically this is at the same time I was training. I thought might as well keep training on the side because I really enjoy being active. So after school, I train, go to travel all the way to Homebush. I live in the Northern Beaches. I train for like 2-3 hours and come back home, and then I'd work on the major projects for like another 2. I'd always end up going to bed at like 12 o'clock.
Holy crap!
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm quite a, I was quite a crazy. I'm
You're
living up.
pretty
I was
full
living up
on,
to the Asian
bro.
standard. Living up to the Asian standard.
Oh no, you're pretty freaking full on, man. Holy
Uh,
god.
yeah. And then I just kept chipping away at it. I worked on it every day. Some of the days as discipline came in, I really
Yeah.
I just wanted to relax. Like my bed's right there. My bed looked so comfy at the time. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to relax, but I said no, I got to do at least some work. Um, and then
Yeah.
eventually all the work paid off. I managed to bang out 6-minute, 5 to 6 minute film called Iris on YouTube. You search it out, Iris 2020 HSC After
Iris on
Effects.
YouTube. I'll have a look at that.
um, I'm quite. There were some hiccups on the way, like corruption and all this sort of thing, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
a majority of it visually, I think can hold up a bit. But
Visually get
all the work paid off.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually the hard work paid off. I got ranked 12th in New South Wales for industrial check multimedia.
Hella good.
And
No,
then I
that's
won.
yeah.
It was a Billy Blue Bright Awards. I won the animation category. So yeah.
Oh, that's no like I said before. That sounds full on as hell. Imagine being in like year 11 and 12. You're training for 3 hours, then you're going back home, and like home. I know where Homebush is. I know where the Northern Beaches is. They're not close. That's at least like an hour there and back, you know. And then you're working when you
Yeah,
get
45
home, and I'm like, do you get burnt? Like, wouldn't you experience burnout? Because I feel like burnout is a very big thing, especially amongst
I
artists and whatnot.
I
You burnt
absolutely.
out.
Taking care of your health, mental health for sure is important. I discovered from this. Um, before I was just complete workaholic, as you can see. You definitely don't have to work to the extent I did. Mine was quite insane. But I was very driven to try and achieve it. So I worked hard.
No, yeah. Yeah, go. It's all good. I'm listening.
I forgot what I was gonna say. No, you go. It's alright.
Yeah, because I was gonna mention in like I think your family must have been very supportive of you during this time. That really allowed you to help you push more. I'm assuming so, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, you said you had a brother that was already working in industry by then, and he was already making strides in there. And your grandma was already an artist, and and everyone left, right, and center was like really pushing you. And I'm assuming that must have been a really good environment to be in, you know. And like, would you say that like when you got to AIE, did you start slowing down, or did you keep going? Actually, because I feel like
I
once
do
you got to
admit,
AIE, did you keep going?
at
Yeah.
first, beginning, I'd say the first month, I did slow down. I did party a little bit, because I did party at all or anything. Or I did a little bit in high school, but I
Yeah.
definitely didn't do anything crazy. I did party a little bit at first. Got that out of my system. Uh, Maybe played a few games here and there. And then
Yeah.
second assignment when it came to the environment, because as I said at the time, I was really set into like, wow, environments, create my own world. It's really cool. I thought,
Yeah.
let's do it. I'm gonna do this now. Yeah.
Full on, right? No, that's hella good. Like I'm telling you right now, man. Like I really admire your work ethic, and I really wish that I even had 1% of that. Because honestly speaking, I could not imagine myself in year 11 doing that type of stuff, bro. Like, dude, I was just playing League of Legends in
Look,
year 11, bro. Dead ass, man.
yeah.
But
Look,
yeah,
I do miss, you know, like being a child a little bit, if that makes sense. Not like a child, but
yeah,
like being a teenager. I
Mm.
was I would say at the time I was sometimes a bit too focused on like the future rather than enjoying the moment.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still happy with what I did. I wouldn't take it back.
You wouldn't take it back. So no regrets at all. That's good. That's what I love to hear, because I do think that having a balance is nice, and like expecting yourself to work that hard. But then again, you were very driven to achieve the goal, so that was completely understandable why you put that much effort in. So like it kind of makes sense from my point of view on why like you did that. But yeah, like that's really cool, because and I'm assuming like it's because of this drive, and then it transferred over to AIE. And like, would you say that the environment at AIE, or like the skills that you learned at AIE, it kind of helped you further? Because do you have any like? Yeah, does that make sense? By any chance? I'm so sorry.
Sort of the skills at AIE. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think one weakness I had was only
Mm-hmm.
loving to work on my own. So as an
Mm.
athlete, I worked on my own. I'm only competing
Yep.
for myself.
Yep.
My major works that I
Mm.
worked on, because I also did visual arts as a major work as well. It's all for me.
Mm.
It's not for working with
Yep.
anyone else. And I do admit I
Yeah.
used to always keep to myself a lot. Um, so until I came to AIE, I realized it's as dumb as it sounds, this industry is way more collaborative than I thought. Um, like it's always all
Yeah.
about teamwork and talking to each
Yeah.
other,
Mm.
interacting. So yeah, at first, I'll admit something I struggled with at first. But I just kept stabbing at it, kept trying to be a bit more interactive and social, and trying to, you know, be with everyone around me. Um, it
Mm.
sort of chipped away, and I gained a bit more confidence. And then, yeah,
Mm.
that was. Is that
That's
did I answer your
that's
question?
actually interesting. Yeah, because I'm like I never looked at it like that. Like a lot of I never actually realized that like you would become a more independent person, a more individual person through your experiences in your experiences if I were in your shoes, because like you are doing most of your projects by yourself. And like, because I'm pretty sure you had a major project, because the Visual Effects students do a major project in their second year, and like that must have been a pretty big hassle for you, because like to work in a massive team, or not just like City Gap, but for like a wide variety of different students. Like, would you say that that project really helped you improve your communication skills and whatnot, or like from there?
Um, yeah, for sure. Uh, as I said at first, it's quite quiet, but then I sort of set
Mm,
uh, a goal for myself to try and take on a bit more of a leadership role, try and like get
mm,
others to interact with each other.
yeah.
So it was actually the first project in major project in the first year. I sort of
Mm-hmm.
tried to make the effort to try and be that guy and like rally people up and encourage them. And then sort of
Yes. Okay.
second year, it was by that made the major project then was actually a lot easier because I practiced a bit more.
Mm.
Also in the
Huh.
second year, coming up to that major project, I asked a couple of my friends if we can work on a couple projects together just for fun. And we did,
Mm.
and I sort of tried to do the same thing, and it worked out well in the end.
It's a lot of initiative. I like that. I really love that, because I really do feel like when it comes to like any courses or any university degree or just anything in life, it's about how much you put into it. And you put a lot of work, like yourself and like a lot of your friends. If you put a lot of work into it, I'm assuming you will get the rewards out of it. Yeah, because that's usually how it works. Yeah. But like in saying that, like, what are you doing now then? What are you doing nowadays? Because I heard that you aren't working with Animal Logic because there was a contract work. I'm assuming so. And what are you working on today?
So my contract originally for Animal Logic was 4 months, got extended by
Yep.
another month to 5.
Mm-hmm.
But that's since then the next project isn't until like end of this year slash next year January. So there's a lot
Mm.
they laid off a few people, just to try and cut
Yep.
down on a budget. Um,
Mm.
and basically I'm working freelance on a short film at the moment,
Yep.
as a visual effects like
Mm-hmm.
comping artist. Um,
Yep.
Sort of waiting for that next opportunity to come about, whether it's at Animal Logic or
Okay.
another studio.
Okay, no, that's awesome. So now, like, let's just say, like, if you were to do all of this again, to start from the very start again, what tips would you have to yourself back then? Because I feel like you've achieved a crap load of success so far, and like for at a young age as well. I'm assuming so, because you do look very young, my friend, and like
Okay, that's good.
that's good.
No gray
Nah,
hair. That's
so
good.
when it comes down to it's like
Nah, I had 21.
you're winning, bro. You're winning. You're 41. Wait a second. Nah, so from
Oh,
'cause, like,
21, 21,
you've
2
achieved a
1.
lot of 21. Yeah, because you've achieved a lot. You've achieved a lot of success for your life, and that's been through your own hard work and merit. Yeah. Let's say that if you were to start all over again, what would be knowing everything that you knew now? What were the steps you would say or give to like future students or like current people that are working in industry to help them, let's say, progress their career and like get into those industries and get their jobs that they want? It doesn't have to be specifically industry related. It can be mindset or literally any tips at all, essentially.
Right. So, first thing I
Yes.
first thing you should do, just learn the software. Learn as much software stuff as possible. And then
Mm.
the projects you make, no matter how bad, if they're bad or good, be happy with them.
Mm.
Not everything you make is gonna be amazing. Like I remember I used to be so picky about the projects I'd make. I'd draw something for like an hour, and then I'd look at it and be like, what is that I don't like?
Mm.
And then I'd erase it and then just start all over again.
Mm.
I do that same with the projects I made in Maya. I remember the first assignment.
Mm.
I had so many ideas pop off in my head I should try. I tried all
Mm.
of them, and I thought they're all bad,
Yeah.
and then I just delete the files. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, it's like don't be so hard on yourself of making something good.
Mm.
Your first, it's like you're beginner or something. Of course, you're gonna be bad. It takes
Mm.
the practice, and dedication to try and. You have to be willing to learn. Um, you have to be dedicated to try and like make something. I wouldn't say you force yourself to
Mm.
make something, but you should at least be willing to try and learn something. I mean, honestly, like every day. Um, but yeah, like if you do come to AIE, don't just force yourself to just only work on the assignments. You will the first year you will get quite a few assignments, but in your free time, instead of just opening up a game, just open up YouTube and
Oh no.
search up something you want to try and do. Um,
Mm.
and then give that a try. And then maybe once you
Mm.
finish that tutorial, you've learned something. Keep that as like a W in your head. And then you can play games.
Mm.
Um, that's something for sure I'd try and like reiterate to myself if I was in my past
Mm.
self. Because as I said, I
No, like,
was
yeah.
so unbelievably picky on my own projects. Um, it's not about it's all about the journey. It's not about the destination.
No, you're definitely right. I love that. I love that quote. That quote's like the best quote in the world. And it's kind of like, no, I kind of like resonated with the idea like when you kept making things and you kept just erasing the whole thing. And it's kind of like this idea of kind of like, because I'm struggling with this myself. And like a lot of us struggle, a lot of people, especially artists, struggle with it. It's kind of like the idea of perfection. And we keep striving for perfection, but we end up realizing there's no such thing as perfection. And it's like learning to be okay with good enough. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Um,
like it's
you
hard,
can
right? It's
you
not
can
easy. It's
it's it's like in animations trying to be like a
mm,
Pixar animation trying to be as completely realistic as possible. You can't
mm,
make it completely accurate. You have to take
yeah,
some shortcuts. Um, and of
mm,
course, if you make it perfect, it doesn't make it unique to yourself. What the imperfect things that you make, that means it's yours. 'Cause
mm. It's
if
you,
everything was perfect, yeah, if everything was perfect, it'd be just boring and you won't want to do it anymore.
a
Yeah,
hundred
I
percent.
completely agree with that.
Mm.
So
Yeah, no, because I think I heard another quote. It's kind of like if someone told you how every day for the rest of your life would go, every day would be freaking freaking boring. And I really
yeah,
resonate with that because that's like so true. Because like, and that's like the beauty of being like not perfect. Because we just realized, I think you'll be happier when you kind of like let go of that perfection ideology. But in saying this, it's a very hard thing. And like, what would you outline as your process of just like, I know being easy on yourself, being kind to yourself is one step of it. But like, what are some other things that you would do to like help yourself get past this mindset of like perfectionism essentially? Because I think this is something that a lot of people would love to know and would love to learn about. And just like, what works for you may work for them. But if not, it's completely fine. At least now they know more at least.
I think one thing to do, something that helped me, just take breaks. Like if you, let's say you're just working on something constantly, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of a situation, the side project I'm working on at the moment. I'm trying to create this like very artistic motion, sort of floating around in the scene. Yeah, this one. It's a work in progress. That's not the final thing. But I think like a week straight, I just kept working on it, and then it wouldn't get anywhere. I kept looking at it, I was like, nah, that doesn't look right. I just thought, take a break, 1 week, another week, just take a break from it, come back, clear your mind. And I come back, and like new ideas that I never would have thought of just popped up in my head. I was like, oh, I should try that. Definitely taking a break is something you should do for sure. Like, when I
you heard Andrew,
finished,
guys, take a break.
take a break. Only if you think like you're in a tight spot in terms of like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's definitely something.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And like, it's a human experience, you know. Like, we can't just have if it was a finite solution, someone would have already figured it out. Okay, like honestly speaking, if there was a finite solution to this, someone would have already figured it out. You know, and it's okay that. But the thing is that I can see that you're working on it, and I definitely agree. Like taking breaks. Why? Because think about it. Your brain is under so much tension when you're thinking and concentrating for too long. Taking a break and just taking a step back, and who knows the possibilities from there on out. It's kind of like going to the gym. Why do people have deload weeks? Because their muscles get tired from concentrating and working out too much. So they take a week off, they come back and they're stronger than before. People think you shouldn't take breaks, but taking breaks is where all the muscles made. Muscles made during your sleeping, literally. But yeah, it's like it's the same thing here. Like by taking breaks, it allows you to have a better foresight and just like, what's that word of like seeing everything? I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry. Of seeing everything essentially.
I don't know the word either, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? It's like you just see the thing, you know, like but yeah, it's been a really good chat with you, Andrew. And like, let's just try to end it with this now. Like, if you were to give one piece of life advice, just in general, to all our viewers today, what would you say? And then we'll end it off with that. One piece of advice, so just one quote that you like, or whatever just a one-liner.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Don't give up.
You might don't compare yourself to others. You're working on you work for your best self, right? It doesn't matter if you got some child prodigy who's been doing 3D since they're like in the womb. Like, you can't compare yourself to that, right? You have to try and make the best version of yourself for sure. I definitely used to try and compare myself to others for sure. Because when I came to AIE, it was the first time I ever touched 3D. Before, I was just stuck in After Effects, doing some comp work, but a lot of motion graphics animations with like vector art. But yeah, I think that's the biggest advice I give. Don't give up.
Don't give up, guys.
Compare yourself to others.
100%. The comparison is the thief of joy. But yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. And like, this will bring us to the end of our stream. But yeah, I have nothing else to say. too easy. Oh, hi Isaac, welcome back.
Yo, I live a ghost in the shell. Cool. I have a question actually that I might throw your way before we do end. And it's from Ethan in the YouTube chat, and kind of just asking about how hard, in your opinion, it is to get a job in the industry, especially as a new graduate, because you know got your job at Animal Logic straight after graduating. Is that a rare thing, do you reckon? And how's the freelance work going as well? Like, is that again full of challenges, like constantly having to look for work and that sort of stuff?
In terms of getting your first job, I'd say that's probably the hardest part about this industry. Once you get in, it is a lot easier to get other jobs, despite me not having other jobs at the moment. But like, yeah, because as a junior, right, you don't have a lot of experience. If you're just thinking as a business in your mind, if you're thinking in the business perspective, that studio's perspective, they want someone who knows what they're doing, has a lot of experience. It can be difficult to try and get in at first. And I think what actually helped me get into my first job in the industry for sure was networking, being social. People want to work with someone who is nice, is hardworking, and is passionate about what they do. If you can show that to other professionals at networking events and online, for sure it will make it way easier to get your first job. That's something that definitely helped me with my first job. In terms of freelancing, as I said, I'm working on a short film at the moment. I actually got the gig at this short film from someone who he's actually teaching at AIE Sydney at the moment. He messaged me saying that someone contacted him. He wants this work done, but I can't do it. Are you able to do it? I was like, yeah, sure.
Wait, I think I know.
Yeah.
I think I know what that is. I got it first, and I
Yeah.
gave it to the teachers.
Yeah, so I'm working on that at the moment. Also on the side, I still do After Effects, motion graphics, animation still. I actually do it for my old high school teacher. He wanted to take me on after I finished high school, and I sort of said, yeah, sure, why not? So I've done clients for like public schools, and I've also done New South Wales government. But the reason why I've gotten all this is simply because I've tried to show to others that I'm driven, I'm passionate at what I do, and I'm willing to do the hard work to learn and try and be a better person in their eyes to work on specifically. Yeah, I think advice is networking and showing your passion.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Thank you. That was actually, super profound. It's really good. Networking is super important. Like you said before, like the industry is surprisingly collaborative. So getting your name out there and stuff is like, very, very important. Sweet. Well, I think that wraps it up. I'm going to quickly show everyone in chat where they can find more. So this here is the AIE website. It's just aie.edu.au, and there's a whole bunch of info you can find on here. So what I will show you, if you want to watch more live streams like this one, if you go to the Showcase tab and go to live streams, this here is a list and an archive of all the live streams we've ever done. So this one here with Andrew will be going up shortly after this. And if you're also interested in VFX, you can sort by VFX and all the VFX stuff will come up. Super, super handy resource. And then the other one, of course, is if you just go to courses, you can click here and see a nice summary of everything we offer here at AIE. But yeah, that was it. A nice, short and sweet. And that wraps us up. Tom has died. That's all good. That's all good. He's back.
I'm alive. I'm back. I'm not dead. I still let it go.
Awesome. Well, good timing because we're just about to wrap it up. But yeah, thanks again, Andrew. It's really awesome. It's pretty rare we get VFX alumni on, and it's really, really great to see the sort of stuff you can do. But yeah, and thank you, of course, Tom, for hosting tonight's live stream.
Yes, no stress. As you guys remember, guys, don't give up, as Andrew says, bro. And don't compare yourself to others. This is the main takeaway for today's stream, guys. But yeah, it was great having you on, Andrew. It was very insightful, really learning about your journey and just realizing how much work you actually put in to actually end up where you are today, which is really cool and it's really like inspiring to see. And hopefully the viewers that are watching are gonna be inspired themselves as well. But yeah. I also had a look at your. I was actually watching your multimedia assignment while my camera was off.
I was also doing that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Pretty
Yeah.
fucking good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I am your 310th view now.
Oh, amazing.
That's what it's all about. Awesome.
That's the only reason why I come here.
For the clout.
Sweet. Easy.
Yeah,
Well,
all good.
yeah. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks everyone in chat for watching, and
See
I guess we'll
everyone.
see you guys later. Bye bye.